The most dangerous man in the room is rarely the loudest. He does not rush to defend himself, explain himself, or prove himself. He watches, he listens, he measures. While others reveal their emotions through anger, excuses, nervous laughter, and unnecessary words, he protects his inner world like a fortress. That is what makes him difficult to control. Every reaction gives information. Anger reveals your triggers. Overexplaining reveals insecurity. Desperation reveals attachment. Boasting reveals intention. The moment people know what moves you, they begin learning how to move you. Machiavelli understood that power is not the absence of emotion. It is the discipline to prevent emotion from choosing your behavior. Someone insults you and your ego demands a response. Someone doubts you and you feel the urge to prove them wrong. Someone misunderstands you and you want to explain everything. Resist that impulse. You do not need to correct every opinion. You do not need to win every argument. You do not need to reveal the plan before the result exists. Weak men constantly expose themselves because silence makes them uncomfortable. Powerful men use silence as protection. From now on, treat your reactions like classified information. Your anger is private. Your fear is private. Your strategy is private. Your next move belongs to you until reality announces it for you. This is not weakness. It is command. You still feel everything, but you stop giving every feeling permission to speak. People may provoke you harder when they realize they cannot read you. Let them. A man who cannot be easily provoked cannot be easily manipulated. Restraint becomes a weapon because nobody can exploit what you refuse to expose. Comment, "My silence is my advantage," if you are ready to become harder to read, harder to control, and far more dangerous. Number 2. Never explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. The moment you feel compelled to explain yourself, ask one question: who benefits from this explanation? Most men explain because they are desperate to control how others see them. They want to correct every rumor, defend every decision, justify every boundary, and convince every doubter that their intentions are pure. That instinct feels reasonable, but it quietly places your power in someone else's hands. The more you explain, the more you communicate that their judgment matters. Machiavelli would recognize the danger immediately. A man who constantly seeks to be understood becomes dependent on the approval of people who may never intend to understand him. Some people question you because they are confused. Others question you because they want access to your motives, weaknesses, and next move. Learn the difference. You owe clarity to those who share responsibility with you. You owe nothing to spectators who only want ammunition. When someone challenges your choices, do not automatically enter defense mode. Let your results become the explanation. Let your consistency speak where words would only create more debate. The disciplined man understands that every sentence can reveal position. The insecure man keeps talking until he has exposed the entire map. This does not mean becoming arrogant, dishonest, or incapable of communication. It means refusing to explain from fear. Speak when speaking serves your objective. Clarify when clarity strengthens trust. Stay silent when the conversation is merely an invitation to justify your existence. There is immense psychological power in being comfortable with temporary misunderstanding. Most people cannot tolerate it. They panic when someone forms the wrong impression, so they rush to repair it. You will learn to endure that discomfort. If someone underestimates you, let them. If someone assumes you are finished, let them. If someone believes your silence means weakness, let time educate them. Your life is not a courtroom, and strangers are not your jury. Stop presenting evidence for your worth. Stop revealing reasoning to people who have not earned access to it. The less you need external agreement, the harder you become to manipulate. Power begins when you stop begging to be interpreted correctly and start becoming so internally certain that misunderstanding no longer changes your direction. Remember this: explanation should be a strategic choice, never an emotional reflex. When you can walk away from the urge to justify yourself, you become calmer, less predictable, and more difficult to pressure. Number 3, never reveal the plan before the result. A man becomes easier to defeat the moment everyone knows what he is trying to build. Most people destroy their own advantage because they cannot tolerate moving in silence. They announce the business before it earns money. They reveal the transformation before discipline has hardened them. They tell friends what they are planning, tell rivals what they are pursuing, and tell strangers what they hope to become. Then they mistake attention for progress. Machiavelli understood that information is power, and the man who controls information controls how others prepare for him. Your plans should not become public entertainment. Every person who knows your intention gains the opportunity to interfere with it, discourage it, imitate it, compete with it, or quietly wait for it to fail. Some will support you. Others will smile while secretly calculating how your success changes their position. You do not need paranoia. You need discretion. There is a difference. Stop giving people access to unfinished versions of your future. Build first, reveal later. Let them discover the move when reversing it is already impossible. Silence creates strategic distance between what people believe you are doing and what you are actually becoming. That distance is valuable. When nobody knows your destination, nobody can easily block your road. When nobody understands your timing, they cannot prepare against your arrival. This is why the disciplined man speaks carefully. He understands that every unnecessary confession reduces uncertainty, and uncertainty can be an advantage. You do not have to lie. You simply do not have to expose everything. When someone asks what you are working on, give them what they need to know, not the entire architecture of your ambition. When people ask what your next move is, allow your actions to answer when the time is right. The weak man seeks applause before achievement, because talking gives him the emotional reward that work has not yet earned. The dangerous man delays that reward. He becomes addicted to execution instead of announcement. He disappears into discipline, improves without broadcasting it, and returns with evidence nobody can debate. Make secrecy part of your self-command. Protect the early stages of anything important: your strategy, your negotiations, your reinvention, your financial moves, your escape route, your next level. Not everything sacred needs an audience. The fewer people who know where you are going, the fewer hands can reach the steering wheel. Comment: results reveal me. If you are ready to stop announcing your moves and start letting completed victories introduce the man you have become. Number 4. Master the pause before you move. The pause is where weak men lose control and dangerous men regain it. Someone insults you, and there is a fraction of a second before your mouth opens. Someone betrays you, and there is a moment before anger chooses your next move. Someone challenges your authority, embarrasses you, rejects you, or tries to provoke you, and in that narrow space, your future is being decided. Most men surrender that space instantly. They react because reaction gives temporary relief. They send the message, raise their voice, reveal what hurts, make the threat, expose the jealousy, or make a decision while emotion is still burning through their judgment. Then, when the heat disappears, they are left with consequences created by a version of themselves they should never have allowed to lead. You will train yourself differently. Machiavellian power begins with delay, not weakness, not cowardice, delay. The ability to hold your position long enough to see what others cannot see while they are emotional. When someone tries to pull you into chaos, do not enter their tempo. Slow everything down. Watch their face. Listen to the words beneath their words. Ask yourself what they want from your reaction. Do they want you angry, defensive, afraid, desperate? If you give them exactly what they came to collect, you have already surrendered the advantage. Silence for 5 seconds can reveal more than an argument lasting an hour. A calm expression can force an aggressive person to expose how unstable they really are. A delayed answer can make a manipulator wonder whether their tactic worked. This is why composure feels intimidating. People can handle anger because anger is predictable. They know what to do with shouting. They know how to respond to panic. But stillness gives them nothing. Your pause becomes a wall they cannot see behind. Use it in conflict. Use it in negotiation. Use it when receiving bad news. Use it when receiving praise. Never let people know that a single sentence can change your internal state. You are not becoming emotionless. You are becoming governed. There is a difference. The man who reacts instantly is controlled by stimulus. The man who pauses creates choice, and choice is power. Before every important response, create distance between feeling and action. Breathe once. Observe. Decide what outcome serves you. Then move with precision. Your enemies will expect impulse. Give them calculation. Your critics will expect defense. Give them silence. Your emotions will demand immediate release. Give them discipline. The pause is not empty. It is where your power gathers before it moves. And once you master it, fewer people will ever control your behavior again. Number 5. Never show them where it hurts. The world becomes more dangerous when people discover exactly where your emotions are exposed. Every visible wound becomes a possible pressure point. Every insecurity you advertise becomes a lever someone can pull. This does not mean you must become cold toward everyone, distrust every person, or bury every feeling until you become numb. It means you become selective about who earns access to the parts of you that can be used against you. Machiavelli understood that people do not always attack strength directly. They search for openings. They study what you fear losing, whose approval you crave, what insult changes your mood, what rejection makes you chase, and what criticism makes you abandon your position. Then, knowingly or unconsciously, they test those places again. If someone learns that ignoring you makes you desperate, silence becomes their weapon. If they learn that questioning your competence makes you overperform, doubt becomes their weapon. If they learn that jealousy makes you reckless, comparison becomes their weapon. Your task is not to stop feeling. Your task is to stop giving strangers a map of your nervous system. When pain arrives, process it privately before you display it publicly. When someone disappoints you, do not immediately announce the depth of the damage. Watch first. Understand what happened. Decide whether the person deserves a conversation, a boundary, distance, or complete removal from your life. Emotional discipline means refusing to turn every wound into a public confession. There is power in being able to endure discomfort without broadcasting it. People become careful around the man whose internal state they cannot easily measure. They cannot tell whether their insult landed. They cannot tell whether their absence weakened him. They cannot tell whether their manipulation succeeded. That uncertainty protects you. And what remains uncertain is harder to exploit. But remember, unreadable does not mean dishonest. You can be warm without being exposed. You can love without surrendering judgment. You can trust without giving someone unrestricted access to every weakness you possess. Masculine strength is not pretending nothing hurts. It is deciding what pain deserves your attention and what pain deserves your silence. Train yourself to observe your emotional triggers as if you were studying an opponent. What makes you lose patience? What makes you seek validation? What makes you abandon your standards? Identify it, master it, because anything inside you that remains uncontrolled can eventually be controlled from outside you. The strongest man in the room is not the man without wounds. It is the man who has learned where those wounds are, healed what he can, protected what remains, and refuses to hand the knife to anyone merely because they asked for honesty. Your composure should become so disciplined that even disappointment cannot make you betray your standards, expose your desperation, or surrender information that should have remained yours alone quietly. Comment, I reveal nothing that weakens me. If you are ready to protect your inner world, master your triggers, and become impossible to manipulate through your pain. Number 6. Let them think they understand you. The moment people believe they fully understand you, they stop studying you carefully. That is where advantage begins. Most men reveal themselves through repetition. They react the same way to disrespect, chase the same kind of approval, speak about the same ambitions, expose the same insecurities, and move according to habits anyone patient enough can predict. Once your patterns become obvious, your behavior becomes easy to anticipate, and anything predictable can be prepared for. Machiavelli understood that appearance and reality do not always need to match perfectly. You do not owe the world complete access to your internal strategy. Let people see enough to feel comfortable, but never enough to possess the whole map. You can be calm without explaining what you are calculating. You can be friendly without revealing what you are planning. You can listen without confirming what you believe. You can smile without showing whether you agree. This is not deception for its own sake. It is disciplined privacy. The dangerous man understands that mystery creates distance, and distance prevents familiarity from becoming control. When everyone knows exactly what you want, what you fear, what you will tolerate, and what you will do next, they can position themselves around those expectations. But when your inner decisions remain protected, people must deal with the reality in front of them instead of manipulating the version of you they think they have mastered. Do not become theatrical. Do not fake personalities. Do not play childish games. Simply stop feeling obligated to reveal everything. Some questions deserve partial answers. Some conversations deserve silence. Some victories deserve no announcement at all. The weaker part of you will want to be seen, understood, praised, and recognized. Discipline that hunger. Recognition is intoxicating because it gives the ego immediate satisfaction, but premature visibility often destroys long-term leverage. A plan spoken too early can invite resistance. A weakness admitted to the wrong person can become future ammunition. A goal announced to people who secretly resent you can attract sabotage disguised as advice. Protect what is still becoming. Let them underestimate your discipline. Let them assume you are less ambitious than you are. Let them think your silence means you have no move. Let them become comfortable with an outdated version of you while you quietly replace him. Then, when the moment arrives, act decisively. No speeches, no warning, no dramatic reveal, just movement. The psychological effect of unexpected competence is stronger than endless promises. People remember the man who said little and delivered more than anyone anticipated. Build that reputation. Become difficult to categorize because you are constantly refining yourself beyond the image others created of you. If they call you passive because you do not argue, let them. If they think you have surrendered because you stopped explaining, let them. If they assume nothing is happening because they cannot see your preparation, let them sleep peacefully inside that assumption. You are not responsible for correcting every inaccurate picture people hold of you. Sometimes their misunderstanding is useful. The man obsessed with proving what he is becomes trapped, performing for observers. The man committed to becoming what he intends does not need the audience to understand the process. He needs discipline, patience, timing, and control. Comment: they know only what I allow. If you are learning to protect your plans, your emotions, your ambitions, and your evolution from unnecessary eyes, your power grows when your inner world is no longer public property. Let people see the surface. Keep the machinery beneath it under your command. Number 7. Become impossible to read under pressure. Pressure exposes the architecture of a man. When everything is calm, almost anyone can appear disciplined, patient, confident, and in control. But when the room turns hostile, when plans collapse, when someone challenges your position, when money is on the line, when betrayal arrives without warning, that is when your true level of power becomes visible. Most men become readable under pressure. Their voice changes, their breathing changes, their decisions accelerate. They start explaining too much, speaking too fast, defending themselves, threatening people, or making reckless promises just to regain the feeling of control. You must become the opposite. The more pressure increases, the quieter your mind must become. Machiavelli understood that panic is expensive because panic forces you to reveal what circumstances have already weakened. If your opponent can see fear in you, he gains confidence. If a manipulator sees desperation, he knows exactly where to push. If someone discovers that urgency destroys your judgment, they can manufacture urgency whenever they want to control your behavior. So train yourself to become slower when everyone else becomes faster. When bad news arrives, do not immediately react. When someone gives you an ultimatum, do not rush because they created a deadline. When a negotiation becomes uncomfortable, do not fill the silence simply because tension feels unbearable. Sit inside it, study it. Ask yourself what is actually happening beneath the words. Pressure often creates illusions. It convinces you that something must be answered now, decided now, defended now, fixed now. Sometimes the strongest move is refusing to accept another person's emotional timetable. You need the ability to stand inside uncertainty without begging for relief. That is rare, and rarity creates power. People are accustomed to seeing men crack when enough force is applied. Become the man who becomes clearer instead. Your face stays composed. Your tone stays measured. Your words become fewer. Not because you feel nothing, but because you refuse to let internal turbulence become external information. There will be moments when you are furious, moments when you want revenge, moments when disappointment cuts deeper than you expected. Handle those emotions away from the battlefield. Never make permanent decisions merely to satisfy a temporary emotional state. Anger wants immediate action. Fear wants immediate escape. Ego wants immediate victory. Strategy asks a different question. What serves me 6 months from now? Ask that question before you move. The dangerous man is not the one who explodes. Everyone knows what an explosion looks like. The dangerous man is the one who can absorb pressure without surrendering clarity. He lets other people expose themselves first. He notices who becomes disrespectful when they think he is weak. He notices who becomes greedy when they think he is desperate. He notices who becomes nervous when silence replaces argument. Pressure is not only something you survive, it is information. It reveals character, loyalty, motives, and hidden intentions. Use it. When the room becomes tense, observe who suddenly changes. When circumstances become difficult, observe who disappears. When you stop reacting, observe who becomes frustrated because they were depending on your emotional response. This is how you begin seeing people more accurately. You stop listening only to what they claim and start watching what pressure pulls out of them. Meanwhile, you become harder to read because pressure no longer owns your behavior. That is the standard. You do not need to look fearless. You need to become disciplined enough that fear cannot make decisions for you. You do not need to look invulnerable. You need to become controlled enough that pain cannot force you to reveal your entire position. Train for this. Delay responses, control your breathing, lower your voice, shorten your words, separate facts from emotions, give yourself space before important decisions. The man who owns his state owns his options, and the man who owns his options is rarely trapped. Comment: pressure makes me colder. If you are ready to become the kind of man who grows calmer when others expect him to break. When chaos enters the room, let everyone else reveal themselves. You remain still, watch carefully, and choose your move only when your mind is completely yours. Number 8. Use silence to make others reveal themselves. Silence is not empty when you know how to use it. It creates pressure, and pressure makes people reveal what ordinary conversation keeps hidden. Most men are terrified of silence because they feel responsible for filling it. They explain, confess, justify, reassure, and expose themselves simply because a few seconds feel uncomfortable. You will stop doing that. Machiavelli understood that information often comes to the man who can wait longer than everyone else. When someone asks you a loaded question, do not rush to answer. When someone accuses you, do not immediately defend yourself. When someone tries to manipulate your emotions, do not reward the tactic with instant access to your mind. Pause. Watch. Let the silence remain. People who came prepared to control the conversation often become unstable when you refuse to follow the script. They repeat themselves. They add unnecessary details. They reveal motives they intended to hide. They expose irritation because your calmness denies them the reaction they expected. This is why silence can be stronger than argument. Arguments give people material to fight. Silence forces them to confront themselves. Use it carefully. You are not becoming passive. You are becoming selective. There is a difference between having nothing to say and deciding that speech would reduce your position. The disciplined man does not speak merely because a question has been asked. He first decides whether the question deserves an answer. Some people ask because they genuinely need clarity. Others ask because they are testing your boundaries, measuring your confidence, or fishing for information. Learn to recognize the difference. If someone tries to provoke you in front of others, let their aggression hang in the room without rescuing them from it. If someone makes a disrespectful remark, look at them calmly before deciding whether they deserve a response. That moment of silence can expose more weakness in them than 100 angry words from you. It tells everyone watching that you do not lose control on command. It also gives you time to think while they become more emotional. This is strategic asymmetry. They spend energy. You conserve it. They reveal. You observe. They chase certainty. You protect it. In negotiations, silence can expose desperation. In relationships, silence can expose who respects boundaries and who only behaves well when constantly reassured. In conflict, silence can reveal who wants resolution and who wants emotional domination. You learn more when you stop interrupting people with your need to be understood. Let them finish. Let them talk past the point they originally intended. People often confess their priorities when they believe they are merely explaining themselves. Listen for what they repeat. Watch what makes their tone change. Notice which subjects they avoid. The man who speaks less has more room to notice. Your power grows when attention replaces impulse. But do not turn silence into childish punishment. Do not withdraw merely to make people anxious or to force affection. That is insecurity wearing a mask. Your silence must come from command, not manipulation. You are silent because you are thinking, protecting information, refusing pointless conflict, or allowing reality to expose what words cannot. There will be times when direct communication is necessary. Speak then. Be clear. Be concise. Say what needs to be said. And stop. Do not dilute strength with endless explanation. The more disciplined your speech becomes, the more weight your words carry. People listen differently to the man who does not waste language. Comment, "My silence reveals the truth," if you are ready to stop filling every gap and start using stillness to see what other people expose when you give them nowhere to hide. Remember this: whoever fears silence more usually reveals more. Let it be them. When you no longer rush to answer, defend, confess, or prove yourself, other people begin showing you exactly who they are, while you remain completely under your own command. Number 9. Control access to you. Power is not only about what you do, it is also about what you stop giving away. Your time, your attention, your explanations, your presence, your emotional energy, your availability. These are forms of access, and access should never be unlimited. Most men weaken themselves because they are always reachable, always responding, always explaining, always available to people who have done nothing to earn that level of presence. Then they wonder why they are taken for granted. Machiavelli understood that value decreases when access becomes too easy. What is always available is rarely respected. What can be summoned at any hour, provoked by any insult, or pulled into any argument becomes predictable, and predictability invites control. You must learn to regulate access to yourself, not as a game, not to create artificial scarcity, but because your attention is one of the most expensive resources you possess. Every minute given to pointless conflict is a minute stolen from your future. Every emotional reaction given to someone who disrespects you teaches them that they can still reach inside you. Every explanation offered to someone committed to misunderstanding you proves that their opinion still has power. Stop giving that power away. Some people should receive your warmth, some should receive your distance, some should receive nothing at all. The mistake is treating everyone as though they deserve the same version of you. They do not. Loyalty deserves more access than curiosity. Respect deserves more access than entitlement. Genuine connection deserves more access than manipulation. Learn to make people qualify for closeness through consistency, not words. Anyone can promise loyalty when nothing is at stake. Anyone can claim respect while things are easy. Watch what people do when you say no. Watch what happens when you become less available. Watch whether they respect your boundaries or punish you for having them. Their reaction will tell you whether they valued you or merely valued access to you. This is where many men fail. They fear that distance will make people leave, so they tolerate disrespect to keep connection alive. That is not strength. That is dependency. If maintaining a relationship requires you to betray your standards, you are not preserving the relationship. You are sacrificing yourself to it. The dangerous man understands that walking away is sometimes the cleanest demonstration of self-respect. He does not threaten departure every week. He does not use silence to beg for attention. He simply knows that his presence is voluntary. If a room continuously devalues him, he leaves. If a conversation repeatedly disrespects him, he ends it. If someone abuses access, he reduces it, calmly, quietly, without theater. This is what makes him difficult to manipulate. Fear of loss no longer controls him because he has already accepted that some people, opportunities, and identities must disappear for him to remain aligned with himself. You become powerful when you stop asking, "How do I keep this?" and start asking, "What does keeping this cost me?" Sometimes the price is your peace. Sometimes your dignity. Sometimes your focus. Sometimes your future. Pay attention to the cost. The strongest boundaries are not shouted, they are enforced. People learn your standards by what happens after they cross them. If nothing changes, there was never a boundary. If disrespect is always forgiven without consequence, disrespect becomes normal. You do not need revenge. Distance is often enough. You do not need a final speech. Reduced access can say everything. Comment, "My presence must be earned," if you are ready to stop giving unlimited access to people who have not earned it. Protect your time, protect your attention, protect your peace. When people understand that access to you is a privilege, not a guarantee, your entire position changes. You stop chasing those who withdraw and stop negotiating with people who prove they cannot respect the man you are becoming, and that is when your silence becomes authority. Number 10. Become the man nothing can control. The final transformation is not becoming colder than everyone around you. It is becoming so governed that nothing outside you can hijack what happens inside you. That is the standard. You do not react because someone wants a reaction. You do not explain because someone demands access to your reasoning. You do not reveal your plans because attention feels good. You move when movement serves you. You speak when speech strengthens your position. You disappear when distance protects your peace. Machiavelli understood that power is often less about force and more about restraint. The man who cannot control himself will eventually be controlled by someone else because his anger, ego, fear, desire, and need for approval become handles others can grab. Remove the handles. Become difficult to provoke, difficult to rush, difficult to read, and impossible to pressure into betraying your own standards. Let people call you distant when you are disciplined. Let them call you quiet when you are observing. Let them call you changed when the version of you no longer has authority over your life. You are not here to be easily understood. You are here to become internally unshakable. The most dangerous man in the room is not dangerous because he threatens everyone. He is dangerous because he does not need to. His presence carries weight because he has mastered the impulses that control men. He does not chase respect. His boundaries create it. He does not advertise confidence. His decisions prove it. He does not announce revenge. He simply removes access, changes direction, and keeps building. From this day forward, stop performing your power and start practicing it. Protect your reactions. Protect your plans. Protect your time. Protect your attention. The less control the world has over your internal state, the more control you gain over your future. When chaos comes, remain deliberate. When praise comes, remain grounded. When betrayal comes, remain intelligent. Let every situation meet the same man, composed, aware, patient, and unwilling to surrender command of himself for temporary emotion or approval. Comment: I move in silence and power. If you are ready to become the man no insult can shake, no pressure can rush, and no manipulation can own. If this message sharpened something inside you, like this video, subscribe to Machiavellian Mind and turn on notifications. Your next level will not be announced. It will be noticed when you arrive.